Feet, this is a shakedown. You got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Wait, hey. Did I mute myself?
Here we go.
Did I mute myself? Did I tell myself to shut up? So anyway, what's going on, everyone? This is your guy, Pat Bernard. Alongside me, as always, my man, Steve Finetta. Steve! We are not in we're no longer into the losing column. We are out of the L column. We're back into a W column. It took the unsung heroes, some unsung heroes to step up. The big question I had prior to this game, who was going to answer the ball, who was going to answer the bell? The bigger question is Coach Bradley Cornell with a bold move by sending his most productive player. And I asked the man the question, was this to test the integrity of the rest of your team to see who would step up? What other scoring options do we have? And we had one. We had two, actually. But one of the most surprising ones that came out of nowhere that caught everybody by surprise, Steve. It was the most nastiest, filthiest goal in all of MLS, where a ball from Kai Wagner bounces off the chest of Quinn Sullivan and it rolls down to his leg, and he shoots a rifle to the back of the net, putting up Philly Union up by one. But yes, this thing was nasty. I mean, you were sitting right down there. Take it away. What did you see?
It was one of those goals, and I had said that Quinn was going to have a game. You know, I believe in Quinn. I think he is that driving force, you know, for this club, I think, this season. And it was a banger, right? Atlanta couldn't clear it. They almost on all the goals, you know, it all led from Atlanta not being able to really do anything, getting the ball out of harm's way a lot of the times. And it's what Cornell, that's one of his things, you know, get possession back. You lose possession, get it back. It doesn't matter where it's at on the field, especially when they're high up, you know, in their own zone. But this one was just a case of that, where Kai, I believe it was Kai, sent the ball in. They couldn't get a good clearance on it, went right to Sullivan, beautiful off his chest, and Guzan just sitting there like exactly what I thought. You can score against this guy. You can score against Guzan. And if they weren't going to be able to go out there and do what we've seen them, what they're capable of, like they did in the first few games of the season, then there was going to be a problem. But they did. They were able to go out, and yeah, that goal in the, what was it, about close to 30 minutes right into the match, it got things going. It really did get things going for them.
Yeah, and you're right. Listen, way to make an impact like you have right here, Quinn Sullivan with a banger, and it was. I mean, the ball rung off down his chest, and he just snipes it to the back of the net. Was just absolutely amazing. And speaking of Quinn Sullivan, how about him setting up Ty Bad Boy Bariba with a redirect goal? Like, this guy is leading the league in assists. Like, Quinn Sullivan stepped up in this game. And this might be the setting the tone for this young man. So, you know, he's playing well. He's looking great. He's put up filthy, nasty goals. I mean, this kid is ridiculous right now. And again, he should be able to do the same kind of stuff to DC as well coming up. But we'll get into that a little, later. But and listen, I want to get a couple of these comments. But if you were at the game, Union fans, you saw what happened. You saw the filthiness, the rabid dog that's in this kid, and he stepped up. This to me, what was the epitome. We need a scoring option. I've said this in my previous show.
Statement game.
The pregame
Statement
show.
game.
This was the statement game. Who else was going to be the scoring option other than Ty Brebo? Who was going to step up? Because to me, this was keep your eyes locked in on Ty Brebo. Take him out of the scoring equation. Who was going to step up? Well, to me, like I said to Bradley Cornell, I don't know if this was your game plan to keep Atlanta off balance by, okay, who they're going to go to and trying to have somebody like that's like a real boldly move to have your most productive player come off the bench and do the and not even. Yeah, I mean, he obviously gets the goal in the second half, but he also stepped up as well. Let's get some of these comments before we get back into our conversation because I'm seeing them, they're piling up. First, our first commenter of the night, our man Adam C. Adam C. says, "Good evening, Steve and Pat. Great show. You guys know your stuff. Thank you so much, sir." Joe Hale checking in. He says, "Hey guys,
What's up,
Joe, what's up, buddy?" He goes, "I was close on my scoring prediction." Yes, you were. I laughed at you last week, but no, you were right on the money there. And then you have Ricky. Ricky says hi.
Oh, Ricky in the house.
So, good old Ricky in the house. So, again, if you guys are commenting, if you guys are watching, please like, subscribe, share to all your Union friends out there for MLS more content. We love to talk and all that fun stuff. But, yeah, Steve, so what I saw on Saturday was a thing of beauty because you definitely needed this team to step up and come forward because, like we mentioned, we've talked about it. It started to sound like a broken record. Your last 3 games, you have only one goal to show for, and this was a thing of beauty. And I get it. Atlanta is one of the bottom feeders or not. This is what we always like to talk about, a get right game, and this was a get right game. But however, we did have concerns about the Union moving into that game.
Good time. And what's with now that it's over, right? It's almost like, damn, you don't really think about any of those issues anymore because of the type of statement that they made. I mean, they were playing a man down. They were playing without Lukic for since I think it was like the 56th, 57th minute that he picked up his second yellow card and was tossed from the game. And the ref, Chapman, was horrible. I mean, I know you heard it up there in the press box, the ref you suck chant. But it echoed. It wasn't just the Sons of Ben area. It echoed throughout the stadium how bad the ref was. So you could just add that to the elements of what the Union did to overcome, to get this 3-0 victory. I mean, Quinn, he's up there with in assists. Ty added to his league leading Golden Boot. So he's got 7 now. And then the saves from Andre Blake, right? Because Andre Blake was a question mark coming into this. We were talking about last week, is it time to pass the throne to Rick and all that? And all those questions, the rare week where every question, for the most part, I would say 90 to 95% of the questions got answered. You just need to now this week, and we'll talk about DC later on, but you got to be able to answer a week like they had against Atlanta. You got to be able to answer it against DC with something very similar.
I don't even have this in my notes, but since you brought it up, because you brought up about Andre Blake walking out with another clean sheet, Andre Blake getting his 100th clean sheet.
Yep.
That's amazing. I mean, that guy is
incredible.
He's an absolute tarantula between the pipes.
That
like,
save, he does not let, that one save he had.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I know you saw it from up there. You're probably getting ready to talk about it, but it was only Andre Blake can do it, right?
Yes. Like, he does not let anything go by him. And I want to not only give him credit, but the defense that was in front of him was a
Yeah.
brick wall surrounding. Like, every time that Atlanta brought pressure downhill, they surrounded him. And this was, you got
Had
to
his
give,
back.
had his back. This is where you got to give Bradley Cornell his flowers here. Because how many times we preached how the fullbacks are up front trying, be, and we get it, a a distraction, maybe another scoring option. But when
Right.
you leave your goaltender on an island, he's going to get cooked every time. On those off rushes, maybe the one-on-ones, maybe there's a 2-on-1 situation going down, in the opposite direction. But this time they step back, they built a wall around Andre Blake where nothing really got by him. And like you just said, he made some incredible saves. He looked like a spider between the net. I mean, he really didn't let nothing get through there. I mean, there was really no cracks in the wall. I mean, he was really, really sharp. And again, great to have him between the pipes. This is the third clean sheet of the year so far.
Already. And not to bring up bad memories, but it just makes you think about last season and what they, Rick definitely filled
Mm.
in nicely, but you think about so many other matches where Zemla was the goalie, where he was the one who was stepping, he was the one who was filling in before Rick did, and you just think about so many matches where, like, damn, if Andre was there, would
Yeah.
things have been different? Last year was a mess, but it just makes you appreciate Andre Blake even more when he has matches like that, like last Saturday against Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. It does make you appreciate it. So let's get into the second goal of the game there, where what's it, Damon?
Hanley,
How do you pronounce his first name? Daniel. How do you pronounce Dalen Jean Janequez. Nice
Jaquez
goal. I liked it. Again, nice little setup by Uwa.
nailed it.
One of Uwa's better set. Yes, one of his better setups. Made a nice little pass to the left hand side, and he shoots another one. Goes low, finds the back of the net, and we got a 2-0, second half play going on.
And what a sick goal to get your first Union goal, your first MLS goal, and at the nutmeg on a
Yeah.
goalie. Right between the legs on Guzan, and it all again stemmed from what Bradley Carnell stresses: relentless pressure to gain possession back, um, especially they were still on their half of the field. When Kai got that ball, Kai makes the pass to Bruno. Bruno makes the pass to Ua, and beautiful finds Danley streaking down in stride, and Danley doesn't try to get cute with it either. That's what I loved.
No.
First touch, didn't think about it, attacked the goal, and that's what you get, and that's the difference. Danley played a great game overall.
Yes, he did. He
Besides the
did.
goal, defensively, everywhere. Those guys playing a man down. I can't stress it enough what they did to continue to feel like there was 10 guys out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Steve, you're absolutely right. Again, being shorthanded and you perform the way you did. Listen, at the end of the day, these are MLS teams, no matter what the record is, because we've seen it
Yeah.
multiple times where a bomb feeder can come back and bite you. So again, he played very, very well. Like I said, that third goal, the redirect, it was nasty. Again, it just made Ty Paribo that much more hungrier. Like the dog was left off the leash, and he couldn't wait get into the field and start playing around. Like that's what it looked like to me. I mean, he got in there and started trying to make a move, and right off the bat, he makes a nice little goal. Again, he gets that nice little redirect goal, assist from Quentin Sullivan. So again, nice performance on both sides of the ball. You get nice production from some guys who stepped up. You got defense who was rock solid. I mean, really, really good stuff. Again, Atlanta could not get. They tried everything possible trying to find a back net, whether they were missing shots, whether they were trying to. But Philly's defense really stepped up, making some corruptions, giving Atlanta the tough shots, whether they're trying to force them to shoot from the outside, shutting down the defensive zone, protecting Andre Blake back there. Andre Blake stepping up, like I said, looking like a wolf spider, not allowing anything to get into his net. I mean, he was really solid there. Again, 100 clear sheet for Andre Blake. You couldn't ask for another solid night. And then listen, and it's actually looking, and I don't look into the crystal ball, and I don't look too far ahead, but you got DC, a team with only 2 wins. You look down, and after that's Montreal. I mean, these are some games you can get right to lead you up to the big dance against Daniel Gonzaga and that Columbus crew coming in at May 10th.
Momentum too that you could. I mean, I didn't even think about that until you just said it. You look at these next 2 weeks heading into. I mean, that's a playoff atmosphere sort of match, right? And then you add the Danny Gazdag being there, his return to Subaru Park. Damn, I didn't even think about that. I mean, you could have both clubs entering that match. I mean, top 5, hopefully top 2, top 3 teams going at it. I mean, that's wild to think about.
It is. And look how many points if you could rack up 2 wins back to back. I mean, right now you're in the 15th seed. They are 5-3 with 1 tie, 16 points. You are right behind. I want to say you're not Columbus. Yeah, I think because Charlotte's in first. Charlotte's in
first.
Yeah, Charlotte's in first. Then it's Miami. Then it's Columbus. Or no, Cincy's in there. Cincy or Columbus is right there, and then it's us.
Yeah.
So they're right in the mix of everything as well. So again, we have a lot going on, and who knows? You get 6 more points in these next 2 weeks, you can find yourself in a pretty happy spot facing against that Columbus team. And then you're looking at it as, like you said, right now you're a top 5 team in the East. Again, this is still very, very, very early. We're looking now 2 months into – or going to 2 months now into the MLS season. Still a lot of soccer to go. We haven't even gotten to a halfway point. But for where we're at now, I like what I saw. However, I do have a concern for you, and it's something that Uncle Johnny brought up during the press conference. I want to see if it dabbles into your mind a little bit, Steve. He has concerns about Bruno Demont. I forget how to pronounce that kid's last name. I always butcher it up some more. I just butcher that. Damani? Am I saying that right?
Damiani, I think.
Damiani.
Damiani.
Uncle Johnny's got some concerns about Bruno Damiani not being as productive as he thought he should be. Question to you: are you concerned about this kid?
No, not at all. I think that this was, and I thought he was productive. I thought he was very productive with, he causes chaos, right? He had there was that one deep pass, where it would look like it was just a clearance, and he happened to be there. It was on one of Uwa's nice chances that he had, where it was him and Uwa was streaking down the left side, but he's relentless. He's kind of reminds me of Ty, right? Where he's relentless. He's constantly moving. He doesn't really complain, right, to the refs. He just goes out. He's gritty. But I think him starting over Ty is Carnell's way of trying to get Bruno those minutes with these guys, with the actual starters, to build that chemistry. Ty has the chemistry with them. And I personally think, well, I know because I saw it. Ty was getting ready to go check in. And then Lukic got his second yellow and got tossed. And instantly the mindset became, oh, well, we have to think defensive. So Ty got pulled back. He would have been on the field probably 10, 15 minutes earlier. So I think the game plan was to get Bruno some chemistry minutes, right, and see what he can do. I mean, he gave us a goal. his debut. His debut match. He gave us a goal. So I think that was the fourth goal against Cincinnati in the home opener. So I'm not worried at all. And a guy I was worried about was Ua, right? Because he just
Yes.
goes so but he was super. Yes, tons of shots that were missed, but you want that. He had the assist, right? His work isn't going like unnoticed in a way where it's just empty production. Like he's actually giving meaningful minutes now. So I think where this team is at, they're in a good spot. I think they're in a good spot.
And listen, this is I like it what I've seen from honestly, we're all happy with the results that we've gotten from this team from this game compared to your last one. And they've really worked on again the way the defense played, again protecting the goalie, not having your center backs all the way up front where there's nobody back there with your goaltender. They played smart soccer for 90 plus minutes. And maybe, like you said, finding other things that work. Like you said, not all the time does the team need to run through Ty Bariba. On paper, you probably thought Bradley Cornell is a wackadoo for pulling his best productive player and putting him on the bench.
First thing I said is where's Ty?
Yes. I was going crazy. I said, wait, hold on. And then when I was given the sheet, I said, wait, he's on the bench. He's coming off the bench.
It's real.
Like this is for real. So again, when I looked at it, I was just like, nah, it had me scratching my head a little bit. But then I said, all right, well, what if it is just trying to throw Atlanta off? What if this is this defensive mindset's okay? Just shut down Ty Baribo. He's the scoring option. They have nothing to come through. But like you just said, when you take him off and let the guys build chemistry in this kind of situation, it's smart soccer at the end of the day.
And I think those were some of the things that a lot of guys were stressing about, like fans, and I think players, about Curtin, how he didn't give other guys opportunities, right? And so now that Carnell's doing this, it doesn't mean, that Ty did something bad, right? You go back and you look at the last two matches, no goals, right? And it's what the Phillies, right? It's what everyone wants Topper to be doing, right? Hold people accountable for horrible performances, and not saying that it was horrible performances, but hey, we just had two matches in a row where we didn't put up any goals. We got to do something different, and he did, and I think it worked, and I think Ty was okay with it because he still got his, right?
He got his. He still, like I said, we all know Bradley Cornell is for real. He does when I'm pretty again. You and I are at these games watching the whole thing. We're not just watching action. I'm watching how he reacts. Like you said, that the one goaltender you just mentioned, absolutely. Look, I, as a beat reporter, I'm not trying to be. Hey, you can't say, but at some point, the authority of the play calling of the referee was, I'm not going to say he was one sided, but sometimes when I looked at Bradley Cornell, my man was about to rip out his chest hairs. He looked like Ric Flair on the sidelines, ready to start flopping around on the side of the, out there. It didn't look that great. He got very emotional. But I'll tell you what about Bradley Cornell. Like I said, at the top of the hour, like I said, this was a bold move. Taking your best production player, let other guys manifest, let the other guys build team chemistry. This is the right time to do it with the right, against the right team, and then unleash the dog off the leash and let him run wild. And that's what Ty Baribo did, and it made an immediate impact. And so this tells you, though, about Bradley Cornell's message about practicing from Sunday till Friday, 6 days a week with these guys, bound for starting positions. It's for real. Like, he's holding guys accountable. And these are causing guys to step in line or step out of the line. and that's it. There's only two things about it, and maybe he's told Ty Baribo was a little lackluster. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know how the different, but maybe, like I said, there's different scenarios. But like you said, I think you're right on the money, Steve. I think that you initially said that these guys were here to build chemistry, to figure this out. You guys figure it out. Don't put Ty Baribo, let him off the leash in the second half. We can do that. You guys figure out how to score, and they did. And again, this goes back to Quinn Sullivan. Like I said, him coming with that filthy, nasty goal where it hits chest, rolls down, and he's just snipes to the back of the net, and then him coming with the big assist.
Set the tone.
Set the tone. He leads the league in assists. Again, find Ty Baribo with the redirect. I mean, Quinn Sullivan came through, showing that he could be a playmaker, showing he could be a scoring option. Get him in the right situation, and he can make things happen. He stepped up. Other guys stepped up. The defense came through. You know what I mean? Everything went well for the Union. And I get a lot of people are going to say, oh, this is just Atlanta. It's still an MLS team at the end of the day. Still an MLS team. Listen, that team is just as hungry because they're trying to find ways to win too.
3-0 clean sheet. That's not just, getting lucky and it's just Atlanta. I mean, that's handling your business versus a weaker opponent. It's not like they just scored a goal in the 90th minute and we're like, oh my God, so lucky. No, they handled business.
They handled business at home. And again, we had to smell it coming. We had to smell this coming because again, one goal in three previous matches. Goal in three previous matches was not looking good for this team. Was not looking good,
And if it didn't happen, I think now, because now you have you got me really thinking about looking at the schedule now heading into Columbus. Because if it didn't happen against Atlanta, they walk away with a draw or a loss. What is the confidence level now heading into DC United, right? And now it's another week that's gone by where they got to get right. And so, I mean, this really was the week that you had to do it, leading up to, like we say, probably the next benchmark game on the calendar, right? The next game that is now circled in the locker room on the calendar is the game against Columbus. And shout out to Quinn. Quinn got the goal of the MLS week with that banger, and he made it on the MLS.
Filthy.
It was nasty, dude. It was. I mean, it was exactly how Quinn is scoring goals, right? Exactly what you want to see. Because even the celebration, did you see the vertical on getting up? And I was like, dang. So no, you can tell these guys are having fun, and I didn't hear anything about Gazdag. Right? When you winning solves everything, just like in any sport. So I'm ready. I'm ready for DC. I'm ready for DC.
You and I asked the question last week, how does life go on without Daniel Gazdag? Well, somebody must have been watching this show. Well, someone answered the bell. Well, someone answered the call. They said, listen, the attacking third is saying someone needs to step up here. No, let's sign, seal, and deliver something. So anyway, let's get in some of these comments here. Joe Howe, we are going to get right into this after I get in some more of these comments. Joe Howe says the Union win again this week, 2-1 over DC. I like what you're thinking. I like what you're thinking. Write it down. You've been a hot stove there, Joe Howe. Our man Frankie James, don't you know the boys?
Frankie, what's going on? The boys of spring.
My dog. He says, hot take, Steve has a fear of a Greek god. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Rush it every day.
And then he says, and then Joe Howe says, Andre Blake has a big save in this coming weekend. Ooh, wow. My man Joe Howe is all Union up tonight. He is all
great segue
Union up.
too.
I like it.
Great segue, because I was just getting ready to talk about some of the one guy. The one guy we know who DC has.
Yes, he's going to should be the Philadelphia Union's focus point. I'm pretty sure that DC needs to try and find another scoring option, but you're going to have to try to slow down Christian Budnick. He's their most productive player. I think he's only got 4 to 5 goals, but still, he's what you got to keep your eyes on. Philly's going to have to try to play with the same game that they just had. They're going to have to bring all that and more. Again, don't take no game to as I know they do it already. They zoom into one game. And know what it's been nice too. Man, I don't know. Nose hairs. No, not nose
Allergies,
hairs.
man. Allergies.
Allergies. No, but no, it's been nice though, Steve. I like the fact that the Union. I know they're going to be coming up now with the U.S. Open, and I can't stand it. But I like when the team plays from one Saturday to the next Saturday, and there's not. And I've talked with Bedoya about this, where you're not stretching, you're not traveling, you got midweek game, you're tired, a lot of fatigue starts to play a role when you're playing 2 games a week. I like the fact that they're getting once a week games. And matter of fact, that's because to me, if they could play like this for the next, I don't know 4 to 5 months of soccer, if they could play with this tenacity, they should be fine rolling to the playoffs and making a run. But when you're playing CONCACAF and you're playing Open US, you're playing in all these different tournaments, and your players are getting call-ups and all that, and they come back down, and you're going to get burned out. And it sucks when your team gets burned out at the end. We've seen it with Miami. Miami ran to the playoffs and then ran right into the dirt. It happens. It happens. It's the unsung hero that steps up in the MLS playoffs all the time because they don't have all these tournaments that they're involved in because of all the winning they've done in the regular season. So I'm just hoping the Philadelphia Union could just play for this year. And if they keep on playing red hot, I know they'll be getting some tournament plays. But right now, I like the Saturday deals.
Yeah, and I felt like there was a lot of Wednesday games. Not even with being in the tournaments. I just think that they had so many Wednesday games built, and it could have been because they were in Leagues Cup, and so they had to get the MLS games in. But no, I'm with you. It's nice to just be able to have them focus on next game up, next team up in MLS. Not, oh wait, which is this an MLS game? Is this a
right. Right, and I think it confuses like the average fan because I remember when I first started covering start watching the Union and MLS, like I was confused. I'm like, all right, is this the playoffs? No, this is another league. Okay, is this the playoffs? No, this is the. I'm like, which one matters here? Which which one?
It's like they all matter, but then it's like, well, is this one like up here where it matters, and then like we don't qualify now, we really like what really is the priority? What's the level of what we're trying to do here? But that's why I think having these issues of Ty's on the bench, right? They're able to figure things out. It would have been great to have this sort of depth in certain areas last year in these tournaments, but it is what it is. I still think they need some center back depth, but Ariel is the Swiss Army knife. He's the glue. I think the just driving force with this young generation up and coming movement is definitely, I think, with Quinn, but I think really the glue of this team, a club right now, is Ariel and what he's able to do because you can put him anywhere.
Right. I think you're right. I think you can plug and play him on the offense side of the ball as a midfielder, as a center back, as a striker, whatever you want to do with Harrell. You're right. He is definitely a Swiss Army knife. You could just flip him and he could just plug and play him anywhere. I like it. But when looking at this DC team again, 13 seed, 2 wins, 4 losses, 3 ties, only 9 points to show for it. Steve, am I looking at this as to be a day at the beach, or should just stay focused on the task at hand?
I think they have to come out with the same mentality. They were up 2-0 last week against ATL, man down. They didn't go into defensive mode. Yes, they made a defensive sub, but they didn't. They still attacked. They still wanted to go and get that third goal. Right? You can do that against this DC team. The first thing I looked at was their -8 in goal differential. So you can go out and get goals on this team. It's going to be very reminiscent to this last week against ATL, I think. You're going to be able to go out, and if you can put Harriel, like they've had in the past, on Benteke and prevent him from getting one of those aerial goals where he jumps out of the building, out of the arena, and gets a header on the ball and can score a goal. So he can change the game quick. But I just think what the Union are able to do defensively and how Carnell has these guys ready to go, in shape, really, too. Like the fitness that he has them in for the way they press and how relentless they are, I think the Union's training staff needs to get a little credit too, and shout out for having these guys. Yeah, they're dealing with some injuries, but I mean, this is what the clean sheet against Atlanta. New York, NYC only put up 1, no goals with Orlando. So I mean, the defense is playing its ass off. So I think they're going to be able to do the same thing, and you're going to see, I think, Quinn and Ty take control of this one. Maybe a little Uwak can actually get the ball in the net instead of all these great shots on goal. I really want to see him get one in the net. He deserves an actual goal.
Same, I agree. Listen, he's a great facilitator, but I think he's due to cash in, to find it back in the net. And I know DC just came off a nice little win over the Red Bulls. They're going to continue being on the road when they come into Philly. This is going to be their second game where they're second straight game on the road. So again, now they just go from upper New York to here. We'll see how this goes. Joe Hal is asking a question. I got to double check on that. See, that's actually a decent question. He says, "How are the Union Team 2 looking?" I haven't really.
I think they played today. I think they had a game today against. I want to say it was NYC.
New York, right?
Too.
Yeah, I think so. I think they were on the road up in New York. But
they started the season with a few ties, few draws. But I think it's far from the Eastern Conference champion team from last year. Just without Frankie. Frankie's a big void.
Yeah, he definitely is. But listen, Joe, if you haven't yet, get yourself to a Union 2 game. I love being there. I love covering down there. It's still a great atmosphere. Watch those young puppies run up and down the field. Great stuff. I do. I really enjoy Union 2 soccer. So again, a lot of things to look towards though with this Union team. Again, still winning with 5-3, 1 draw, not bad. Hopefully they can rack up another 3 points this weekend. Afternoon game there, Steve. Well, it's an evening game. 4:30 start time.
Yeah, I love these ones. Get home at a decent time. Yeah, start early. Except I'm looking at the weather, and
I heard some rain.
Yeah, typical Union game. It's beautiful all week, and then
I hope it doesn't get
supposed to rain in the afternoon. Yeah, I don't know about washed out, but I know it's definitely going to be a wet one.
Oh, that's never mind. But listen, it's this is what we're due for. This rivalry. It's going to be nasty weather. Yeah. I mean, what else do you want? What else do you want? I mean,
Battle of what? Battle of 95?
Battle of 95, Philly and DC. I mean, 2 rivalry cities just getting it on. And some nasty weather. That's what you want. No love relationship there. It's all just nothing but love-hate right there. So that's what I'm talking about.
And the Union have kind of dominated this series lately. So
yes.
I hope it's not one of those they're due for a loss sort of deal.
Right. Trap game.
And they're able. Yeah, exactly. I personally think they're going to handle business against DC United. And I think the week after
You go up to Montreal.
could be that trap game looking ahead to, because that's going to be an
Mhm.
emotional game, I think, for the fans against Columbus. For the fans with
Yes.
Gazdag coming back,
Yes.
with Gazdag coming here, it's going to be emotional for him.
I
So
I
I hope
think
Montreal, not to look ahead, but I hope Montreal isn't that look ahead trap game.
no, and I think what Tuesday they got the U.S. Open game against Indiana. I think something like
Right
that.
before, yeah, right
Right
before
before.
Columbus. Yep.
Yeah. So again, you're gonna get tested early. So, but no, listen, I think it's great that my prediction come May 10th, and I'm gonna dial up a big time guest. Now that I mean, this game is just too much, so I'm gonna have to dial up a big guest for us, and I think it's the one you've been asking for quite some time, and I'm gonna dial him up and see what I can get, see if he can answer the call, but I think I can make things happen for that thing,
Oh,
for
I
that
know. I
game.
know you're talking about. I know you're
I
talking
know
about
what
now.
I mean.
Okay.
So I
Yep.
think I'm gonna think we'll get him a jingle tomorrow and see if he can see if he's got an open spot for what's that
Teaser, possible guest.
May
Teaser,
8th.
possible guest for the Columbus game. For the Columbus game.
Yes.
Would
As
that be?
we
Yeah, May. Would that be May 8th? Yeah.
his first, I mean he's got his nickname's got two letters in the front of it. So, but that's all. That's as far as I go. I'm not giving no more riddles anymore. I'm a horrible riddler. But anyway, yeah. Listen, Union, nice win. Steve, we have to do one of our segments here. We got to look over the schedule.
Let's do this. Yeah, dude. There's a
Let's look
lot of
over.
clean sheets across the league last week. I was looking 3-0,
Yeah,
2-0,
how about
1-0.
that?
I was like, holy hell! It was a pretty
Yeah,
one-sided week.
Atlanta can't. Right, Atlanta can't feel like the only losers in town.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? At least like, oh, they probably looked at the scoreboard like, oh, at least we're not the only one that got smacked
yeah. Well,
around.
yeah. It was one of those weeks. Just
It
chalk it
was
up to
just
one of
one.
those weeks.
Yeah, it was one of those weeks. So let's get started with things here. As I'm looking too far back. But yeah, let's get looking here. Kansas City hosting supporting or Cincinnati hosting supporting Kansas City. Who do you have? Saturday at 2:30.
Who you had? Sporting KC versus who? Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's at
Give
home.
me. I think Cincinnati continues their win streak. They're a hot team right now. I think Evander and them boys get the win.
All right, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go Cincinnati. You have Toronto hosting NYCFC.
I like NYCFC. Alonzo and the guys, they bounce back after that 2-0 loss to New England. Ugh.
Yes, I'm going to go with you. I think New York's going to go up there and handle business. I'll say that one for last. We'll say the Philly and DC one for last. We'll go on to another Saturday afternoon. The Red Bulls hosting Montreal.
Montreal gets their first win. I'm going to keep predicting their first win until they get it. Hopefully they get their first win, and then the following week we don't have to have that conversation about Montreal gets their first win against Philly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So someone
Right?
doesn't want to be
Exactly.
embarrassed. Right. So I'm going to
Get
go
it out
Red
of the
Bulls
way
here.
now. Get it out of the way now.
Yes. I think this is going to be a Red Bulls game. I think they're going to snap out from losing to DC last week. Now you got Orlando City hosting Atlanta. Atlanta's back on the road again, going down to Orlando.
Yeah, I think probably similar result. 2-0, 3-0 win for Orlando.
I'm going to go that. I'll go a nice little win there. I'm going to go clean sheet as well for Orlando City. And then you have Charlotte hosting New England. And I'm going to go with Charlotte. They're going to ride that hot hand.
I want to say New England gets the upset win, but I just feel like in the way Charlotte's playing right now, well-built team, I think they're going to dominate New England.
Man, nobody. And I mean, I've talked to some beat reporter. I've talked to people in the bottom. I've talked to you. I don't think there's a single person that has Charlotte on the radar. on their radar and I know it's real early, but this team just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And that's one of
Nowhere.
my favorite things about MLS. A team that was missed the playoffs, could have been a 11, 12 seed
Mhm.
previous season, could turn around and be the supporter shield, contender the next season. I mean, you look at LA Galaxy, we'll get in them in a little bit for their game,
Mhm.
but it's
Mhm.
just, that's what I love about MLS year after year.
Yeah, same. You just it's like MLS is like the NFL. You just don't know what team's just gonna just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Joe House says, "Great show as always, guys. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you,
Thank you, Joe.
thank you, Joe. Don't forget always hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit the share notification. Always, Joe. We always appreciate
We'll
you.
be back to
Always
Thursday,
chat.
Joe. Next week, we'll be back to Thursday. This was just
Yeah,
because of
we'll
the
be back.
draft.
Yeah, Joe asked me. He texted me. He asked me, "Hey, why is the show has been bumped up?" Because Eagles fans have to watch their current Super Bowl champions, see what they're going to do tomorrow. So we don't want to,
Yeah.
we want Eagles fans to enjoy that. So we decide to bump it up a night. But anyway, let's get back in it. San Diego FC going down to, or no, hosting Salt Lake.
Yeah, I'm gonna go San Jose. Oh no, you said San Diego, San
San
Diego,
Diego.
and Real Salt Lake. I think this is my draw. This is my draw game. I think both teams kind of struggle. I got a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I want to go. That sounds really good. I'll go 0-0. I'll
Zero
go
zero
draw
draw. Yeah, they're
there.
struggling.
Mm-hmm. Next game on the sheet, I got Saturday night, Columbus hosting San Jose.
I got San Jose. I got Arango and
Ooh.
Martinez getting the best of Gazdag, and San Jose. San Jose
I
getting the
think
win.
this is where God. I think this is where Gaza goes off and gets himself a pair. I think he's gonna. I think it's gonna be a 4-1 win Columbus, and I think
Bounce
this is
back
where
for
my
them because they just lost to Miami.
yes, they are, and I think that what we just got embarrassed. This is not going to happen again. Let's go show our fans a thing or two, and let's just lay a thumping on the San Jose. Let's go to the next game. Another former Union member, Nashville, is going to be hosting Chicago Fire with Mr. Elliott.
Give me Nashville. Give me
Same.
Nashville. Just because, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Elliott even when he was here. I just too many times where we've had talks, right? So
Yes.
I
Yes.
just screw Chicago. So give me Nashville. Give me Nashville.
Yes. Same. I'm going to go Nashville. I think Nashville, if you give Buck hard time, he's going to cook that man all day long. Let's go to another former Union member, Houston Dynamo taking on Austin, Texas.
Texas battle.
Um,
Battle of the Alamo.
Battle of the Alamo, Houston and Texas. Who do you have, Mr.
Give me.
McGlynn?
I got McGlynn getting an assist with that left foot. Nice little service in. I got Houston and McGlynn with the win.
Okay, I'm going to go Austin on that one. All right, let's go down to Colorado, hosting my favorite team, according to Angry Anthony, wherever you're at. I hope you find yourself back onto the program. Colorado's hosting the Seattle Sanders.
Yeah, I like the Sounders. I think they travel well. Give me the Sounders.
I'm going to go draw. I'm going to go 1-1 draw here.
Which that's a win on the road for Seattle. You can get a draw on the road. So
that would be a draw for those guys. Next up, game of the week. Sunday, 3 o'clock. Not a bad time slot. Nothing really much going on. Minnesota and Vancouver. Minnesota, the 3 seed right now in the West. Vancouver is at the 1 seed. Minnesota will be hosting.
I got Vancouver. I think Brian White's up there in goals, scored. So I think he keeps the pressure on Ty to keep scoring goals to get that golden boot. So I like Vancouver in this one.
I like Vancouver as well. They're going to go to. I think they're going to handle business up there in Minnesota. You have Miami hosting at 5 o'clock. They're going to be hosting FC Dallas.
I got Dallas. I know normally it's F Dallas, but I got Dallas and Acosta getting his I
Really?
guess this would be like, yeah, being like his first signature win since leaving Cincinnati and joining Dallas. I think he gets the job done against Miami and them boys.
All right. I think Miami's going to handle this one a 2-0 win. Now let's get to the next one. Let's go LAFC taking on St. Louis, hosting St. Louis.
Hit LAFC until they got Gerard there now. He's playing, and he had that one goal from right
Yeah.
outside the box. It might have been right inside, right to the left, to the right of it, but it was an incredible goal. I think LAFC is getting ready to go on a nasty little stretch of wins here.
Okay. And now you have LA Galaxy, and I'm going to go LAFC as well. I want LA Galaxy, though, another LA team. 2 hours later, we'll be hosting Portland.
I got Portland. Give me Portland.
Same. I'm going to go give me Portland with a 1-0 win.
I like it.
Another clean sheeter.
Thanks.
So
How about LA Galaxy?
yeah,
Horrible title defense.
I told you the team's burned out. They are burned out. That's
MLS
a
for you.
perfect example. That's MLS.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Ran scores.
It really is a perfect example of a team getting burned out.
They are. They had that nice little surprising run in the MLS playoffs. They obviously win the chip. Chip ends what? Beginning of December. You turn things right back around, and you're caught. That team is still have yet to get themselves off the canvas.
Tired legs, and it's showing.
It is. It's really showing. Or that's just. It's weird because Columbus is still relevant from their championship run. I mean, yeah, but they're still a contender. Where LA Galaxy just turned out to be a one-hit wonder.
And that's a team who the Union play at home on a Wednesday at the game right after Columbus. So you hope that these sort of teams like Montreal and LA Galaxy don't find their footing against the Union. So, but we'll talk about those games when they get here.
When time's comes. But how tough is May going to be? You got Columbus and you got Miami in the same month.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah. A lot of home games, but
a lot of home cooking.
I mean, I guess you got just as many away games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in May, 4 on the road, 3 at home, and 1 U.S. Open Cup.
Man, that's to me
a lot of games.
It sucks that.
Remember May.
Remember May to remember. But it's going to suck though because it sucks that game's not the beginning portion of May to try and take Miami out of its element and have them play in the cold. Now it's going to be nice warm weather, and that's just.
Holiday weekend,
and messy. It's going to mess things up here. So I hope not. I hope not either. I hope he just enjoys the scenery of Philly and just gets distracted. But like, I mean, it's like, I mean, I hope he comes up here, eats cheesesteaks. I hope he gets, sick. And I was trying to say that, but I just hope he enjoys the scenery up here, and because it's like when our players got to go down there. I mean, they go to the South Beach and see, and have the time of their life down there. It's all nothing but a bunch of distractions. But
where is he going to go? Pat's and Geno's to get a few cheesesteaks, make them extra greasy, for him and everything like that. There you go.
That's a Mike Lauer cheesesteak, extra greasy. But
he would turn around though and then have like the Jordan flu game. He would have the Messi flu game the day after, most likely.
Yeah, Mike Lauer's good. He's pretty good for a nice reach around. I mean, that, yes. But anyway, listen, for me, my man Steve, listen, we are just up against it. I want to say thank you to Joe, Hal, Frankie James, Adam Cease, Ricky. We appreciate you guys chiming in. Just remember, tell a friend. You guys know some Union people. We all know that we have there's diehard MLS fans, tell them to come check out the Attacking Third. Season 5, Episode 4 in the books now. Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. Go Union.